Hello students, myself Sisir Soro, teacher in USCD DAV Public School, Maharajganj. First of all, welcome to class 10th. In this video, I am going to discuss about the chemistry portion of your class 10th science. In class 10th, chemistry portion consists of first 5 chapters of your NCERT textbook. In that, I will start with the very first chapter of your textbook, that is chemical reactions and equations. We have been reading about the chemical reactions and equations since from the lower classes. From that, we know that there are two types of chemical reactions. Those are physical reactions and chemical reactions. So, those reactions in which there is only change in physical state of a chemical reaction, they are known as physical reaction, or they are also known as physical process. But those processes in which a new substance with new properties are formed from the other substance, they are known as chemical reactions. So physical reactions and chemical reactions are quite different from each other. Any chemical reactions, as you know, that mainly comprises of two components. Those two components are reactants and products. So let us see what are called reactants and what are called products. So what are called reactant? Those substances which actually take part in a chemical reactions are called reactants. Those reactants, they are generally written on the left hand side of the arrow. But those substances which are formed during chemical reactions are called products. They are generally written on the right hand side of the chemical equation. As you can see in the bottom, that magnesium react with oxygen to form a product, that is magnesium oxide. So as you can see here clearly, the magnesium and oxygen are the reactants and magnesium oxide is the product. So what happened by just looking into this reaction, we can see on the left hand side of the arrow, that is your reactant side, and on the right hand side of the arrow, that is your product. But how can you show that the chemical reaction has taken place? There are n number of chemical reaction which is going all around you. So how do you know there is a chemical reaction going on? For that, we have to observe some of the physical observation. Among the first is change in state. For this, take an example of reaction between carbon and oxygen. Here, the carbon is in solid state, oxygen is in gaseous state, but when they will combine together, there is a formation of another product called carbon dioxide, which is again in gaseous state. So there is change in state from solid to gaseous state. Let us take the another type of observation, that is change in color. In this, let us take the example of iron and copper. Iron, which is in solid state, and we will take the copper sulfate solution, which is blue in color. When they are mixed together, there is a change in color from blue to light green due to formation of another product called ferrous sulfate. So you will find that the change in color from blue to light green. Now let us take the another kind of observation, that is known as change in temperature. So if you'll see the chemical reaction between acid and bases, you will find that the container in which the chemical reaction is going on, it will become hot. So there is change in temperature from initial to final. Now the last, the physical observation that we can see in a chemical reaction is evolution of gas. Whenever a reactive metal react with a acid, there is formation of metal salt along with evolution of a gas, that is hydrogen gas. Now let us discuss the ways of representing a chemical reaction. A chemical reaction can be represented in either of the word equation or a chemical equation. In word equation, the whole state sentence can be written, but in a chemical equation, only the symbolical form of the chemical reaction is written. So let us see what is a chemical equation. So a chemical equation can be regarded as a shorthand representation of a chemical reaction. It involves use of symbol of elements or chemical formula of reactants and product with special mention of their physical state. There are certain conditions like temperature, pressure or catalyst that should be written above or below the arrow between reactants and products. For example, for any reaction where A and B are reactants, they will react to give a product C. The catalyst must be written above the arrow and the temperature and pressure should be written below the arrow. For example, nitrogen react with hydrogen in the presence of 773 Kelvin temperature and 200 to 300 atm pressure, the ferric oxide as catalyst to form ammonia. Here it is written as nitrogen, which is in gaseous form, the hydrogen which is in gaseous form, they will react together to form ammonia, which is again in gaseous form. In that, the iron oxide is a catalyst which is written above the arrow, and 200 to 300 atm is the pressure and 773 is the temperature. So if there is only one necessary condition, then it should be written just above the arrow. While writing a chemical equation, emphasis is given to balance the chemical equation. Now the question arises, why we need to balance the chemical equation? According to the law of conservation of mass, matter can neither be created nor be destroyed during a chemical reaction. So the number of elements on the reactant side must be equal to that of the product side. Or in other words, we can say that whatever the mass of reactant will be there, that should be equal to the mass of product. Now, how to balance the chemical equation? That we're going to discuss in the next class. So in this class, we have discussed about the chemical reactions, the changes occurring during chemical reactions, the ways of representing a chemical reactions and chemical equation. Now here is some homework for you. Please pause the video and write in your notebook. Thank you.